belated bloody welcome back to WIINK. It's an overcast September afternoon. I'm Joe.
And I'm Beth. We've had a little break from the podcast just with the world reopening again. We've been very busy, but we're back.
I'm actually going
for
to look
real
right now at when our last episode was. The last episode was published on the 16th of June. So it's been over 3 months.
But we move on.
But we go again.
Yes. Round 2.
And how have you been, Bethany? Life is restarted.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I have actually had coronavirus.
Bloody hell.
Touch wood. I was absolutely fine. I am double vaccinated. I had a very, very mild dose, which I am very grateful for. And other than that, I've just been living, laughing and loving.
I've been much the same. I feel quite. We both actually started new jobs as well.
Yes.
So I feel like that's fed into the busyness.
Mm-hmm.
Life has been on the go again. You can go out, go to the pub, go to the odd club. Although we are getting to the wrong side of 25.
Yes, which brings us on nicely to Joseph's birthday, which was the other day. He has a scratch card which I bought him, which he's going to do live on the podcast.
Okay.
So if the recording suddenly stops, it's because Joseph's
won. We've won.
Oh wait, actually, what is the?
So this is a Wads in Your Wallet scratch card by the National Lottery.
What's the top prize?
£5,000.
Oh right, well I thought maybe it was going to be millions and we could.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, 25 again. As I've been saying, much like an old mall.
Yeah.
25 again. I actually had I had a good birthday.
Yeah.
So I was working, unfortunately. Quite tired. I had a nice birthday in the end. I was working. It was a pretty bad shift. I was rushing out on time to catch a train, which I missed, to get to Edinburgh to go to a gig to see Nile Rodgers and Chic. Literally every single person I've said that to is like, oh, who's that again? And then I start singing Everybody Dance or Le Freak, and everybody goes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Honestly,
every disco song basically that you've ever heard of.
Obviously, like produced like Daft Punk.
Yep.
Let's Dance by David Bowie. He played Like a Virgin and Material Girl.
Mm-hmm.
It was honestly the best gig I've ever been to.
I'm going on Sunday.
To Playground?
Yeah.
Right, you need to go and see him. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Are there still tickets for that? Oh, I'm working. We're meant to do nights.
Ignore us.
Sorry, we're just waxing lyrical. If you ever have the chance to go and see Nile Rodgers and Chic, go and do it, because the guy is a living disco legend.
Okay, we're scratching now live.
Scratching. Okay, so we find a National Lottery symbol to win a prize, or we find a wad of cash symbol to win all the prizes shown. So there must be prizes underneath. Okay, number 1, here we go. It's a gate key. Don't know what that means. £40. Game 2. Oh, it's a gold bar. £200. Game 3. Just remember, we need a
little lottery symbol.
Lottery symbol. That's the tenner. So we're sitting at 250 quid so far. We've got 3 more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Need a lottery symbol or a wad of cash. Oh, I thought that was cash there. It's £5,000, but it doesn't mean anything. No, nothing on game 5.
Okay, last one.
This is it. So we need some luck here.
Yep.
Hail Mary, full of grace. No! Bloody coin. It's a dud. Oh well.
Oh well.
You win some, you lose some.
Happy birthday.
Cheers. So what else have we been up to?
You've been on holiday?
I've been away on holiday, yeah. I went to the Isle of Mull.
Mm-hmm.
And some time on the west coast as well. Beautiful. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. Stayed in quite an upmarket hotel, actually.
Okay. I never asked, but okay.
Can't hide money. With that comes a certain level of expectation, shall we say.
Okay.
Not necessarily from me. I thought it was nice. We've never stayed in like a fancy hotel like that.
Yeah.
Like, we normally just go and stay with friends or...
Yeah. I'm just saying, podcast listener, I've not heard anything about this holiday because he's been waiting to tell the story on the podcast, so I don't know anything about this holiday.
Well, it was a good holiday. It was called like a spa hotel. However, you had to pay £25 a head to use a jacuzzi. Which surely it should be like included in your expensive room.
So just the jacuzzi for how long?
I think it was like you had to, because of COVID, they were making you book in and stuff.
Okay.
So I was disappointed. You had to pay for the spa treatments and stuff, which I get. That's fine. We didn't actually do any of that because it was nice weather. We didn't want to be stuck inside. I think the thing that stuck in our throats was the fact that the pool, if you wanted to go for a swim, you had to book in, fair dues. Mm-hmm. But it was also used by, this could make me sound like a total arse, but I think it's the only pool on the island. Right. So it's used by school kids.
Oh, okay.
It's a council pool.
Right.
So we booked in for like our last night, like, can we book in for 6 o'clock before dinner? And the pool shuts at 7, so you can't go after dinner. So yeah, that's fine. So then we came down and they were like, when we got there to the pool, they're like, just to let you know, there's kids in getting their swimming lessons, but there is a lane for swimming in. And we were like, right, okay. Went in, kids screaming, splashing over the whole pool except a tiny wee lane at one end. There were already 3 people in it trying to swim. And I was like, right, okay, we're not doing this. We're going away. We'll come back at 6:30. But why would you let somebody book in? If you're booking in for COVID reasons, you obviously have to limit your capacity in the pool.
Yeah.
So why'd you then let like 5 people book in to swim in one lane? Anyway. I did overhear quite a lot of Karens actually. That makes me sound like a Karen, but honestly, I had a good time. There was this, on the first night, there was like, we were like up at the bar for a drink before dinner, and like this woman was at the bar like moaning about her, how she was just like going on about her bill, all this kind of stuff, and then we were in the restaurant next to them, and then they were like wanting to take the service charge off of their bill, which is automatically added, and all this kind of stuff. And then there was another couple who were like at the bar being like, oh, like they don't do cocktails, so they're already pushing the luck, like, can we get an espresso martini, but can you make it decaf? And then they were like, yeah, we'll just charge you per item, like we don't have a cocktail menu, so we'll charge you for like the vodka, the Kahlua, the coffee. And they're like, can we have decaf coffee please? And the guy was like, yeah, that's fine, we'll make decaf, but it will still have Kahlua in it, which is coffee. Like, just so you know, she was like, yeah, but as long as the coffee's decaf. And then her husband's like, yeah, but the Kahlua's just coffee flavoured, so that'll be fine. Like, very, very like abrupt across the bar. The next morning they were in at breakfast and they'd ordered porridge or something, and then like I heard them kept like they were very loudly talking to each other about how bad it was. Like, oh, it's just like slop or something. I was like, it's porridge. That's what porridge is.
Yep.
And then somebody came over to like ask if everything was okay, and they were like, well, the porridge isn't very hot and it's just quite sloppy. And then they were very busy, so they were like, oh, I'm very sorry, I'll go and get you fresh stuff. And like the waitress was then like heading away, and she was very loud, like, oh, she's just walking away like that. I was so mortified.
It sounds like a pretty shit holiday, to be honest.
Well, maybe for them. I had a good time. We went, we saw like dolphins, we went to like a beach, like by yourself, like you had to beach yourself, all that kind of stuff. We were like very hyper aware of all these like very demanding people.
I was going to say, as is the Scottish way, we focus on the negatives.
No, because do you know where both of these instances where these people were
in
from?
That posh hotel?
Yeah, but do you know where they were from?
Don't say it.
I think you can tell where they were from. They weren't from Scotland, obviously. Alright. They were making a big scene. But anyway, Bethany, I thought I would get myself into the boot cut jeans of a Karen.
Okay. Here, can I just say, boot cut jeans are very Gen X or Gen Z? Boot cut jeans are very TikTok. They're back.
Are they? For that kind of country western type of song. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. We were actually dancing to 5, 6, 7, 8 in a club the other week, weren't we? Doing our little, like,
that's showing our age, really.
Okay, so here we go. This is my list of things that I disapproved of on my holiday, okay?
Okay.
There was a pube in the bed.
Okay. I mean, who wants that? Was it the year
before we slept in it? There was a pube in the bed. No, we did like jokingly did like the four in the bed thing when we got to the room.
Okay.
We were like running our hands along top of the doors and stuff. It was immaculate. It was very. We're not like that, but we pulled the covers back and there was a pube in the bed. I don't care. Like that happens. Like you wash your bed sheets, hairs stick to it. It's just static.
Yeah. Pubes happen.
Yeah. £13 for a veggie burger and no chips.
Mm.
That was a bit disappointing.
Yes.
But I didn't complain. I just said, well, I'm on holiday, so I'll just pay for it.
Just muttered under your breath.
We just looked at each other across the table like, disgrace. The green omelette for breakfast was unappetisingly green.
Oh. Don't you just hate that?
I think it was full of spinach.
Oh, okay. Mm.
But it was advertised as a green omelette.
Me farting all day.
Spinach doesn't do that for you. It's more broccoli, cauliflower, things like that. Only single track roads on Mull. Get a grip. It's 2021.
Okay.
I got sunburnt. Again, nobody's fault but my own.
Yeah.
And last but not least, sitting having breakfast, I thought the sun was far too bright.
Do you know that I have read TripAdvisor reviews like that.
Honestly, I could have had my sunglasses on at breakfast. I thought it was a disgrace. Oh, that was what that woman said. The woman about the porridge. She actually said when the guy was walking away to sort out the problem, she was like, "Wow, he's just walking away." Oh, it was so. Anyway, but I had a good time. Believe it or not, contrary to the last 5 minutes, I have actually had a good time.
That's good. Talking about kind of coronavirus and Karens, I've kind of, in the past few weeks sort of been thinking there's kind of two types of sort of coronavirus Karen. You've got on the one hand, the people who are almost kind of disappointed that the rules are relaxed now because they can't police other people for like breaking the rules. So they're now, saying things like, can't believe this music festival is happening, don't you know there's a pandemic going on, and all that sort of thing. They're disappointed the rules are over because they were the best at following the rules. They were the type of curtain twitchers who, if their neighbour didn't have planning permission for their shed, they'd be phoning up the council straight away. And then on the other hand,
like a grief merchant.
Yeah, just not happy. A bit
chaser.
like you, not happy unless they've got something to moan about. And then on the other hand, you've obviously got the kind of, masks are ruining our civil liberties and I will not be vaccinated, and going on, anti-lockdown marches and things like that.
I know they are polar opposites, but
yeah, but do you know what I mean? How this idea of a Karen is just very sort of
diffused.
Diffused, yeah.
I did have somebody at work the other day being like, because it's not used, like the word Karen is not used in like common conversation that much anymore. Like there was a while where like the phrase was very, very commonplace, but it's 2021 meme culture things just like fire through them rapidly. But somebody at work the other day was like, I am not normally a Karen, but I really am going to phone this person and complain. I was like, fair dues. Yep. Feel free to call in. I'll leave you the email address.
Yep.
Okay, so we love a submission. It gives us something to talk about. And we got one recently from James. James messages on Insta with a little clippings from an online news article. And a little birdie tells me, James, that you're a very big fan, so shout out to James, loyal listener.
Very loyal, and he has, in his own words, scoured the web at every opportunity to find a Karen worthy of submission. So thank you, James. Really appreciate the effort, and he's got it absolutely spot on. The comments are underneath an STV News article about an Afghan family enjoying life in Scotland after escape from Kabul. Now,
I saw this live as well, live on STV News as well.
Because it's just a screenshot, I can't go on to read the article, but by the looks of the picture, you know, they are just simply outside in the sunshine.
I think they're walking in Kilgrove Park, actually.
Okay.
I remember from the news article, it's like a couple of guys, mostly women and children.
Yeah, outside in the sun. And James has just sent us a handful of comments. I won't read them all, but I'll just go through some of them. So we've got a comment here from someone called Jan, who says, "They don't look as if they've been starving."
Oh my god. How inappropriate.
We've got another comment from David, who says, "Let's hope they don't start ripping off the Department of Working Pensions and begging on the street." Which to me is a bit of a juxtaposition.
Yeah, I know.
if you were claiming benefits, then you would be in a house and you wouldn't be begging. Well, anyway, and then
that's like a prime example of how these people just open their mouths and let
Yeah.
their bellies rumble. Like
And
that doesn't
then-
even make sense as a criticism.
Yeah, but do you know what's really sinister is that at the end of that comment, he just says "good luck" with a winky face, which to me is just the most sinister.
Yeah, that's a bit foreboding.
Yeah.
Because I think also the part of the story was, I think possibly one of the group was already in Scotland and these people were rescued from Afghanistan and able to join him, and he has enjoyed taking his family up to Fort William or Loch Lomond and showing them like Scotland's scenery, all that kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think there were a lot of comments being like, oh, how can they afford a car straight away? But
Yeah.
there's people here that can't. It's like, well, obviously there must be more to the story
Yeah.
than meets the eye, right? They've not come over and just been given a car. It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
Or maybe they have. Maybe somebody charitable has.
Yeah.
Is it any skin off your nose that this refugee family got to go and enjoy Loch Lomond? Like, get a grip.
Yeah, it's the way that I sort of see stories like this and look, and I can, in a way, kind of sympathise if you're going through a really hard time and you're in a way looking for someone to sort of blame. I can kind of sympathise with that, but the way you've kind of got to think about it is it's not going to make your life any better by being angry at these people. It's not going to make your situation any better. So while I can kind of sympathise, I think their anger is directed to the wrong people.
It's a classic, doesn't it? You deflect your anger at the system towards the vulnerable people. But then they're also, tentatively, I think somebody in one of the comments that James sent is kind of floating the idea that, there's people here in Scotland that can't afford to go up to Fort William or Loch Lomond. I'm like, well, why aren't you, focus your ire there then, not on these innocent people that have come over from a war zone. Like, how's it their fault that people are in this country? It's not their fault that people in this country are poor.
Yeah.
You need to look at the system.
James has also sent another comment, just kind of off what you were talking about there. I don't, very bizarre. How did they manage to save so quickly and tour the Highlands? Most people can't even afford a steak, let alone car, petrol and a holiday. I don't know where
don't know where she gets her steak. I mean, I'm vegetarian, don't eat steak. I don't know how much steak costs, but
I just thought that was a very bizarre. Most people can't afford a steak. I don't know if that's maybe,
she's been unpacking her shopping at the time, looking at the
price of a steak.
Yeah,
I think it'd be quite pricey, to be fair.
But these are also the same kind of people who would slag off, like, quote unquote, like, white people here, like Scottish people here who are, it's a classic like Daily Star headline: single mum of 5 on benefits lives in flashy 6-bedroom house with 30k car, that kind of thing. They would absolutely tear those people to shreds, and then they have the cheek to go onto an article about refugees and say, well, what about all the Scottish people that are poor?
Yeah.
It's like, pick
a side.
Choose a hill to die on, seriously.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
And if you want to send anything in, you can find us on Instagram at whatisitnowkaren or email us at whatisitnowkaren@gmail.com. Our main Karen of the week. Okay. So
what have you got for us? I actually don't know what Bethany's going to Tell us about it.
Just as obviously we were talking there, first podcast back, we're back at it. It might be short-lived based on this story. Because Ofcom have recently listed new offensive terms. You can see where this is going. So, however, what I'm potentially worried about, among gammon, remoaner, libtard, snowflake...
You can't say that! Because that's like a portmanteau of...
Okay, right. This is the quote.
Okay, we're just quote-unquote. Okay.
I'm not,
Remoaner.
So, among gammon, remoaner, libtard, snowflake, is Karen. So, we could be over before it's even begun.
But to be fair, remember, I think when we started this podcast, I remember I was saying to you, my mum was like, oh no, I know some lovely people called Karen, you need to be careful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, as we always say, it's a general term.
Yeah.
And I think if we're getting, I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that Karen is like a slur. Yeah.
Oh, also, boomer, apparently as well.
Snowflake's not a slur, come on.
Turf.
That's not a slur. That's a fact.
Anyway, so a few places reported this story, and of course people came out in their droves. I couldn't think of the word there. Their droves, and it was really hard to pick one sort of Karen of the week. It was really difficult. So maybe I could go through a few and we can maybe pick who our Karen of the week is. So Dale says, interesting word, gammon, as it can refer to the skin colour of someone angry, and I'm led to believe that anyone who uses a word to discriminate based on skin colour is called a racist these days.
Shut up, Dale.
So Dale thinks that gammon is actually racist. I'm guessing towards pink men. Angry pink men.
Like Alan Brazil, have you ever seen that? This is Alan Brazil discrimination. Like
Piers Morgan walking out of GMB, when your face goes pink and you're angry.
But without getting into the deep arguments around racism, you can't really be racist towards white people because racism is an institutional, structural thing, and white people are always, or on the whole are privileged versus people of colour. So
yeah, okay. Ant has said, woke is the most abused word in the UK at the moment, especially by Gammony cancel culture snowflakes. Is that us?
Gammony cancel culture snowflakes. How many words de jure has he managed to get?
But
in there?
he says,
but he's just used all those words that he just used are in the offensive list.
So he says woke ought to be the top of the banned list.
But from what perspective is he quote unquote woke, or is he quote unquote a gammon? Zoom in, tap on his profile picture. He's got an overlay on his Facebook profile picture. One of these, I love our NHS, and they'll have I love our NHS help for heroes overlay on top of overlay until you can't actually see who they are anymore.
Yes.
Interesting word, the word woke, actually.
Yeah.
I don't. It's actually become. It's been co-opted by people who don't like political correctness, if you know what I mean. I don't think if we wouldn't describe ourselves as woke,
but probably someone like Anne or Chris would describe us as woke.
So it has, but it's almost them that use it exclusively to describe people who are, not diddies.
Or not right-wing Brexiteers who love the good old days where being racist and homophobic was just a bit of banter.
So it's just, and then Nicola Sturgeon was actually getting interviewed, and somebody by an English TV channel or English news channel or something, and they were like, would you describe yourself as woke? Because she is, you know, kind of forward thinking about equality, diversity, trans rights, all these kind of things. And she was like, actually, I would prefer not to label myself as woke because it has all these connotations these days.
Yeah, but I think woke is actually, I read something recently and it kind of, I could be totally wrong here, so I might take this out if I'm totally wrong, but I think it comes from African American culture, like to be awake.
Yeah, it's like African American vernacular English, like woke, to be like aware.
Aware, yeah.
So it is weird that like you've gone from that to like all these like angry gammons and Karens like calling people like a woke snowflake. And even if we did, you know, use the word woke to describe ourselves, like why do they think it's an insult?
Yeah, to be socially aware.
The minute you call somebody, or the minute you say to somebody, stop being so woke, you've outed yourself as a bigot in that.
Yeah. Because the argument of you can't say anything anymore these days, like can't take a joke, like you can joke about anything. It's all about, you know, intention and context and, you know, all those things kind of between that.
Respect.
Yes. Actually, I forgot, this is maybe my favourite. Is it gammon? Yes, because it's a racial slur. Because it can only apply to a certain ethnicity. Snowflake? No. That is an accurate description of someone that goes into meltdown easily.
Oh, that is hysterical. So obviously the words that are pejorative towards him he doesn't like, but the words that he likes to use to talk about, you know, people who are socially conscious, they're not offensive.
Yeah. But we've spoken about this in other podcasts before, how the people who are very vocal on you can't say anything, everyone is so easily offended, they seem the most offended. We've spoken about that plenty of times, but it keeps coming up again and again and again.
I think if you're going to call somebody a snowflake, I think you should just accept gammon. Just accept it. If you don't want to be called a gammon, don't act like one. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay? Gammon is not a racial slur. It refers to an angry, ruddy-faced, typically white man.
So yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the gammon refers more to the state of anger.
Sorry to change the subject, but I don't know if this was a mistake, but the picture used on the Times is a picture of Smithy and Nessa from Gavin and Stacey.
What? Why are they on it?
Oh, I know, and the reason that I can't find out is because I'm not subscribed to the Times, I've got a paywall. But do you remember last year when they were singing Fairy Tale of New York, and on the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special, they sung Fairy Tale of New York and sung it with the F word?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense now.
Okay.
But anyway, do we think Chris wins it then with his gammon is offensive, snowflake?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it offensive?
Gammon is the worst slur in the history of humanity, but woke warrior snowflake is completely fine.
Yeah, but also special mention to Ant with the Gammony cancel culture snowflakes.
Gammony cancel culture.
Special mention to
That's a tongue
Ant.
twister.
Yeah.
Gammony cancel culture snowflakes.
Yes.
Gammony cancel culture snowflakes. But are they not two opposites? Gammony cancel culture snowflakes.
I think we could be here all day dissecting that, but yeah. Well done, Chris. You are our Karen of the week.
Cancel culture as well, to me, is there's just something about it. It's like people say, see when somebody is rightly called out for something, like, oh, they're just being cancelled. It's like, well, no, people are holding others to account for their past unacceptable behaviour. Like, and then the minute these people start talking about cancel culture, it almost diminishes the seriousness of it.
Yeah.
So if you say somebody gets rightfully pulled up about something and then like, oh, this is just cancel culture at its worst, blah 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 blah, it then makes it seem like this kind of trivial social media pylon.
Yeah.
Which in some cases it is, but that's just part of it. Part of it is you know, saying to people that behaviour is no longer acceptable.
Yeah.
And you need to atone for it.
Yeah, I think where I'm not on board with, well, first of all, I don't know if really cancel culture exists. How many times has Piers Morgan been cancelled and yet he constantly
moans.
Yeah.
He moans about being cancelled from a national platform, and he's now going to go back. He's going back to work with Rupert Murdoch and
Andrew Neil.
No, who's that woman that was involved in the phone hacking thing? Katie something? Brooks? Something like that. I don't know. So those three haven't worked together since phone hacking. So that just goes to prove, you know, you can do something despicable, give it 15 years, and you get back together. Fine. Would you say Prince Andrew's been cancelled?
What a question. I suppose he's still really, is he not still living under, I don't know what it's called, the duchy or something? He's still receiving a lot of like public money, but I haven't seen him really in any sort of like.
Did you used to see him?
Oh,
day to day. I haven't seen him down the high street.
I haven't seen him down the co-op in ages. I don't know.
I only mentioned it because there was an article in the Times as well saying good news about Prince Andrew has to be shared.
Fuck off. Nope. Oh, if you're talking about him, like, he is cancelled in my eyes, like, in my eyes, he is cancelled, but I don't know about sort of, you know, general cancelled.
Because I'm going to read, there's a Twitter account called Politics for All.
Right.
And it just tweets like little snippets of news and things. And they had tweeted this article from the Times, and then they've essentially summarised the article in this tweet, and they've said, new, Prince Andrew saved a dog's life. It was about to fall out a window and the alleged rapist ran over and grabbed it just in time.
Fair play. Just talking about cancel culture and things. When you first said that, the thing I thought of first was Janie Godly.
Oh yeah.
Scottish comedian. Now, regardless of what you think of her comedy or anything like that, I don't know if I necessarily agreed with the pile-on. You know, she said some horrific things.
Yeah, but they've been known about for a long time, like, because there was a subsection of Twitter which found her very annoying, and I also found her quite annoying. And all these tweets came to light, and everybody, she used to just essentially like block everybody.
Yeah. I do think though there is a point. So see if she'd came out and said, I still stand by why all those horrific things that I said, fair enough, you know, that is, you know, abhorrent. But there has to be a point where you can, you know, that I said that in the past, I am ashamed, I don't agree with, you know, my views have changed, I'm a better person now and I apologise wholeheartedly. There has to be a point where you've said something in your past and it can't keep coming back to bite you on the arse, essentially. As long as you
but did you come out and say that?
Yeah, she's like, I unreservedly apologise. I'm ashamed that I've said all those things.
But what I will say is that she's saying it now. She's saying it now that it's cost her a payday and a bit of fame on these coronavirus adverts. Whereas before, when it was all blown up on Twitter, like a year ago or something, she would just block everybody and she didn't acknowledge it. So to me, if you're, I think if you've done something wrong and it gets noticed and you get pulled up for it, I think that's the time for humility and an apology, rather than a year or whatever down the line when it costs you a payslip.
Yeah, but
also, she's not that funny, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, because you kind of hear it, sort of stories cropping up now and then, like maybe lower league kind of football players and stuff. There'll be a tweet from when they were 14 and they're now in their 20s. You know, saying something that she shouldn't be saying.
But then most of the time they come out and apologise and move on, and that's fine. That's the way to do it. My biggest takeaway from the Janie Godly saga was actually the tweet from 50 Cent, and he said, Janie Godly, take your big ass to sleep if you don't like what I'm saying.
Well, and on that note, that's all we've got time for, folks. We are going for some lunch, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a big grub.
Mhm.
What do you fancy? I don't fancy anything West Endy posh. I think we can just get a pub lunch.
Okay, something light.
Or
Got tap
maybe-
dancing tonight.
Maybe not a pub lunch then.
I fancy like
Mac and cheese from Thornwood.
or I'm thinking like soup and a sandwich,
Soup and a sandwich, right?
but like from like a greasy spoon, not a a posh West End.
Send us in your favourite places to eat in Glasgow. Or your favourite pub, actually.
Yeah.
Send us in your favourite place for a pub lunch. Instagram us or...
Which is, it's not really much just us now because we're going
no,
out in like
but I just
5
mean I'm just
minutes.
interested. I'm just interested to hear where everybody likes to go.
Yeah.
Because I went to the Thornwood recently, sister bar of the Admiral, which you took me to a few weeks back. Very, I was going to say very, very, very enjoyed it. Enjoyed it very much. Enjoyed that thoroughly.
Enjoyed that thoroughly, and that was episode 19.
That was episode 19.
As always, messages, email us. whatisitnowkaren@gmail.com. Whatisitnowkaren on Instagram.
Follow us, like us, subscribe us, leave us a review.
Yes.
Because I noticed after the last episode when I said leave us a review, nobody left us one. Not on iTunes anyway, so get your finger out.
Yep. And we will see you.
Hopefully soon.
I think
We really need to get back on, we need to start being strict
I
with
think we're going to
ourselves.
be every 2 weeks.
I think every 2 weeks is realistic.
Okay. So we'll see you, not next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.